Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something I say this every week, we're going to be doing something different because I did promise you guys, going to come out with a game development video, but circumstances have prevented me from making this video. Main thing is I'm taking a break from game development because I need to focus on my computer science A-level project and just computer science in general. I need to focus on it, so I feel like game development gives me an excuse to not work on my project, which means I'm not going to be able to, finish my project in time. So game development is on break for now. Just taking a little break. I'll be back onto it on January, so hopefully in January time, maybe after January, I can bring out a game devlog video of a game that I've technically finished. I just need to add a bit more features to it and it should be done and ready for release. So today it's just going to be a face-to-face kind of thing. I'm not going to have my computer. We're going to be talking about how I managed to install a higher version of Android on my S5. So this is an S5, but it's not a normal S5. If I get my normal day-to-day thingy out, this is my phone. This is my normal, what I use every day. This is my Samsung S7. If I go on into the Android version, it will actually show that I'm running Android 7 because by default, by stock, I think Samsung Galaxy S7s run Android 7. I mean, it makes sense because Android 7, S7, whatever. So if I go into about a device, I have my Android version, which is the S7. So by default, my S7 is running Android 7, but the most recent version of Android is Android 10 with the new, I don't know, S10 I think is out, or is S11? I don't know. I'm not been keeping up. But with these new phones, obviously new Android versions come out. But with this phone, what I've been able to do is I have deleted System32. I've deleted all the old OS files on this device, and I've managed to install a new one. So normally by stock, you would have guessed that, Samsung uses Samsung OS, its own built-in OS, which runs Android, right? So Android's not a specific OS, it's more of a foundation for an OS to be built on. That's all I really know about it. All I know is that it's not a full OS, because if you buy like a Motorola or a what they called Huawei, they don't run the same kind. They don't run the same OS as a Samsung. They don't look the same, but they run Android. So I think Huawei runs Android. I'm pretty sure it does. But by default, your Samsung S5 should come with Android version 4. But if you were to buy one now with like a factory settings and all that, it'll ask you to update to Android 6. But the OS, it just looks so outdated. If I can get my old S5 to work, I'll show you a little video of how outdated the OS looks, and it's just like horrible. The most customizable feature you can get is you can get launchers and you can get custom keyboards and stuff like that, but they still don't make your device look slick in a way. But this phone is actually running a higher version and a higher Android version than this phone. So this phone here, the S5, the gold one, is running a higher version of Android than my S7. Android version 7, and this is Android version 9. This is the second to last latest Android version available, if that makes sense. And it's running on an S5. Isn't that so cool? I'm just gonna talk through like some of the advantages of a custom OS and some of the disadvantages of a custom OS. normal Samsung OS on the S5 looks absolute terrible. This one, if I show you a video of it, it's so slick. Like if I show you, I can swipe down for the notifications instead of swiping from the top. I can swipe up to see my applications, and overall it just looks so much more slick compared to the normal S5 OS. Now, another thing the custom OS makes is good for is it makes you look cool. Like you can show people this Samsung like S5, and you can show them, and you can show them how it doesn't run Samsung OS, and it's so like cool. Like, so the Samsung S5 is 5 years old, whereas the S8 is like 2 years old now, I think. I want to say. So it makes you look cool, man. Also, there's other things then other than the interface and making you look cool. The OS I'm running on my Samsung OS now is Lineage OS. You can research that if you want. I'm not going to go into details about that OS, but it has so many more features than like the Samsung OS that makes your life so much easier. For example, like I mentioned before, you don't need to swipe from the top to see your notifications. You can just swipe from the middle of the screen down, and it'll show all your notifications. You can swipe up instead of pressing the app button, so it's like so much better functionality wise. It's so much better, so much easier to just swipe up than pressing a button. Highly customizable as well. You can change the shape of the icon. So like on my Samsung S7, it uses the squircle. I don't know how you say it, but on Lineage OS, I can use a circle shape, I can use a square shape, I can use a teardrop shape, I can use the squircle shape, etc., etc. And yeah, there's just so many more features than Samsung OS, the S5 OS specifically. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it has a high Android version as well, which is, come on, dark mode. It has dark mode. Instagram has dark mode. That's the best thing you can ask for on software. So yeah. So of course, along with the advantages of like a custom OS and stuff like that, there's obviously going to be a disadvantage. You have a lot of bugs, and it's not like something that you can see. It's more of something that you find while you're using it. So like, you don't notice this at first. Things like, it can change how functional the OS is. So like, if you're in landscape mode, you can't access the settings. So when you swipe down on the notifications, you have the settings button, right? Even with a Samsung OS, you have the settings button. But in Samsung, you have it on the top right, and you can press the top right. But in Lineage, you have it at the bottom right. So when you do the landscape mode, you can't actually press it because it's gone off screen. If you press and hold on the application and select to choose a widget, if that application doesn't have a widget that you can choose, it'll just have a blank kind of screen at the bottom of your device, and it just won't go. The only thing that makes it go away is if you shut down your device. One massive thing, is that when installing the OS, the custom OS, you have to be aware of what Android version it is. I wasn't aware of what Android version my custom OS was running, so I didn't know what version of Google Play I could install, because Google Play has to, I don't know why, it has to know what version of Android you're running. So in the process of installing the custom OS, what it does is it deletes the old OS and then installs Google Play. So you have to know what version of Android you're running beforehand, and I didn't know this, so I couldn't install Google Play at first. But luckily, you can go back and install Google Play, but you just need to know what Android version you're running. If you're running the latest version of Lineage OS, you are going most likely be running Android version 9. But just keep that in mind, because when I installed it, instead of installing both at the same time, I had to install the OS. Then, literally a month ago, I came back to it and installed Google Play. So yeah, they're like the disadvantages and advantages of the custom OS I'm running. Overall, with my experience of it, obviously I'm not using it as a proper like mobile device at the moment. I'm just using it as like a backup, mainly for all my media and stuff like that. I don't really use it for ringing people's social. I don't use it for social media and stuff like that. But so far, it's been pretty good, and I highly recommend you to do this, to install a custom OS, because it's a lot better. If you're willing to, not have access to settings in landscape and, having a broken widget thing, then, go ahead and download a custom OS. Yeah, I think that's about it really. If you want me to, if this video gets 5 likes, I will do a tutorial showing how to install a custom OS on your phone. It'll be Lineage OS most likely, because that's the one I've known about for the past year. So yeah, join me next week where I jump off a bridge, but don't worry, there is a trampoline under the bridge, so I don't die. Bye!